Hi, I'm Rashid, an IELTS certified teacher trainer. For more than 15 years, I have studied how people learn, communicate, and develop expertise. My background spans educational psychology, linguistics, neuro-linguistic programming, communication training, and leadership development. So if you are serious about becoming a more effective English teacher, you are in the right place. My goal is very simple: to help you teach with clarity, confidence, and professional purpose. Now, think of this. You are teaching absolute beginners. You say, open your book, nothing happens. You smile and slow down, then you say it again. 3 students look at the window, 1 student opens a notebook, the rest wait quietly for someone to move. Now change the move. You hold up your book, you open the book, then you say, class, open your book. This time half the class follows. Then you continue, close your book, stand up, touch the door, sit down. You do the action. Nobody has produced a sentence, but suddenly English is working. English is doing something inside the room. That is the power of TPR, total physical response. Not because movement is cute, because movement creates evidence. Movement makes understanding visible. So by the end of this video, you will learn and you will know how to use TPR without making it childish, without making it chaotic, and without making it methodologically thin. Here is the rule. TPR is not a speaking activity with actions attached. TPR is a comprehension-first activity. The body answers first before the mouth has to. That distinction matters. Beginners often understand more than they can actually say. If you force speech too early, you may create an anxiety and get very little back of English. But if you say, pick up the red card, and the learner picks it up, you have evidence. They connected sound and meaning. They connected meaning and action. So the diagnostic question is very simple here. Can students understand first before I ask them to speak? So for beginners and young learners, that question is gold. Silence is not always failure. Sometimes silence is preparation. Sometimes silence is comprehension forming. So a classic TPR sequence is beautifully structured. First, the teacher models with a small group. The teacher says stand up. The teacher stands up. The students stand up. The teacher says sit down. Everyone sits down. Then new verbs appear: turn around, walk, stop, jump, other verbs. Next, the teacher stops modeling. Now students respond alone without copying the teacher. So this is the first real check of actual understanding. Then the teacher changes the order: jump, sit down, stand up, walk, stop. That change matters. If the order never changes in TPR, students may memorize routines instead of listening carefully. Then the language expands. For example, touch the desk, walk to the door, put the blue card under the chair. The command becomes richer. Verb plus object, color plus preposition, place plus action, and notice the evidence. The teacher, he doesn't need a long explanation. He can immediately see who understood and who noticed blue and who is simply waiting to copy a classmate. So the common mistake is 1. Treating TPR like a game. The teacher says, stand up, sit down, jump, climb, faster and faster. With loud voice, the class laughs, the observer writes, good energy. Okay, and maybe it was, but energy is not the aim of teaching. If commands are too easy or always predictable, students may react to rhythm. Students may react to memory or to friends, but without processing English. You can have 20 children moving and very little comprehension. The second mistake is forcing production too early. Now say, stand up. Now say, sit down. Some learners manage, others freeze immediately. Because the lesson removed the very thing TPR provide, which is a low risk participation route. The rule is very simple. Movement is the route, not the destination. The destination is understanding. Think of it, for TPR movement is the route, not the destination. The destination is understanding. So build a TPR ladder. Start with visible verbs, stand, sit, walk, stop, point, touch, other verbs. Then add objects, touch the bag, pick up the pencil, give me the paper, give me this cup of water. Then add details, touch the bag, put the pencil under the book, give the long ruler to your partner, then create new combinations, patterns. Students know touch the chair. Students know walk to the door. Now you combine them. Walk to the chair and touch the door. That small pause before students move is extremely useful. It shows they are processing, not simply replying routines. Then reach the final level, role reversal. A student gives commands, the class responds, the teacher responds with them. Now controls begins moving from teacher to learner. The ladder also controls pace. Add too much and students chase the activity. Add too little and students stop listening. Now compare two lessons. Lesson A, the teacher shows flashcards, pencil, ruler, book, chair. Students repeat the words, then copy the words. Lesson B, the teacher places objects around the classroom, put the pencil under the chair, give the ruler to Samira, put the book on your bag, touch something red. What do you think? In lesson A, students learn labels. In lesson B, the words become tools. Prepositions matter, adjectives matter, listening matter. The teacher also gets better data about the learners. If a learner picks up the correct pencil but places it incorrectly, means the vocabulary exists. The preposition doesn't. That information is valuable. This is especially powerful with young learners. Children often understand by doing first, before explaining later. But the same principle works with adults as well. When the movement respects context, of course, they are adults. Now the theory matters, but only if it helps teaching. TPR begins with one idea: let learners understand first. Before acquiring speech, learners hear language, connect meaning, succeed through action. And they are not pushed into production yet. Don't create an anxiety. That creates three advantages. First, meaning becomes visible. Second, feedback becomes immediate. And third, anxiety becomes lower. There is also a memory advantage. Put it under the chair, it's not floating alone on the board. It becomes connected. Connected to an object, to a location, a successful action. But there is a limit. If every lesson becomes commands, the classroom becomes teacher-led. Students may understand imperatives, but struggle with questions, struggle with stories, with negotiation, with writing. So don't ask TPR to become the curriculum. Use it where it shines. Early comprehension, classroom language, concrete vocabulary, prepositions, action sequences, and confidence building. But let's say, how about adult version? The adult version is not childish movement. The adult version uses meaningful movement. For example, for hotel staff, try commands like these. Show me the passport, check the room number, give the key card to the guest. For airport English, for example, put the bag on the scale, take out your laptop, walk to gate 12, for example. For classroom English, underline the title, circle the verb, pass your paper left. This is still TPR, but it respects adults, right? So nobody feels infantilized because the actions belong to their world. So in large classes, use rows, use leaders, use object cards to avoid chaos. Online classes can adapt as well. Students can touch objects, point at pictures, or move digital cards. The principle stays identical. If action carries meaning, movement is not decoration. Movement is comprehension. Again, if action carries meaning, movement is not decoration. Movement is comprehension. So here is the planning checklist for you. First question, can this language be embedded? Can it be manipulated physically? If not, choose another technique. Second question, have you planned the sequence? Do not improvise everything. So pace matters. Third question, will you model first before you test? Beginners need examples. Beginners need examples. So fourth question, the fourth question, will you vary the order? Will you create combinations that prevents memorization and encourages listening? Fifth question, will you delay speaking until students are ready? Invite production, but never punish silence when speech arrives. Accept imperfect attempts. Fine-tune later. Sixth question, what happens next after the movement? Maybe students match commands to pictures. Maybe students write commands for a partner. Maybe a learner becomes the teacher. What comes next? So a TPR stage should leave language behind, not just tired legs. Music, you walk, you run. Now return to the beginning. When Open Your Books failed, the class wasn't weak. The language lacked support. Once the teacher opened the book, closed the book, moved, pointed, and observed responses, English became understandable before becoming speakable. That is the promise of TPR. It lets beginners participate before they can produce. It gives teachers evidence. It gives learners success. And it reminds us that comprehension is active. Sometimes comprehension stands up, walks to the door, and touches it. And this leads to a bigger question behind the entire series. If TPI gives us principles, and PPP gives us principles, and TBLT gives us principles, and Dogme ALT gives us principles, and drills gives us principles, how do you avoid becoming a collector of techniques? We studied all these. In the next video, we move beyond methods and into principled eclecticism. We will build a teaching philosophy that you can actually defend and use wisely. All right, next video, eclecticism. Thank you so much, guys. See you in the next one. Bye.